Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Brahm Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Gurave Sarvalokanam Bhishave Roganam Nidhe Sarva Vidyanam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Kodi Samaprabha Nirvignam Gurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gajananam Bhutaganaதிசேவிதம் கபித்வஜம் பூபலசாரபக்ஷிதம் உமாசுதம் சோகவிநாசகாரணம் நமாமி விக்னேஸ்வரபாதபங்கஜம் शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये व्यासम् अष्टनप्तारं शक्त्यै पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरातं वन्दे जगदातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मणदे वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So last time we were looking at how Pandavas reached Drupada's kingdom, Panchala, and then what they did after that, how Drupada prepared for the Swayamvara, and what happened in that Swayamvara. All the princes, everyone tried. They could not succeed in tying string to that bow Karna was about to do, but Draupadi stopped him. And then Arjuna from the Brahmins group, he came out and then he won Draupadi. And then there is a fight broke out with Karna and Arjuna, and Karna got scared and he stopped fighting. And then similarly Shalya was fighting with Bhima, and then Bhima defeated him and Bhima threw him away. And then Pandavas returned to their home, the potter's home where they were staying with Draupadi, and they were staying there. Drishtadhyumna comes there to learn about these people who actually took Draupadi away. And he comes there, hides in a corner and listens to everything they do. And then next morning, he goes back to Drupada and tells his father that those people sounded like Kshatriyas. They were talking all night. They were talking about weapons and elephants and horses and chariots and all these kind of things. They did not speak anything about like Brahmanas do, talking about mantras or pujas, prayers or flowers or fruits or food or anything like that. They were talking about all the things which Kshatriyas do. So Drupada was a little bit pleased about that. And then what he does is next day, he sends his priest to speak to Pandavas and learn more about them. But Yudhistira does not tell anything. He says, don't worry, Draupadi has been given to a good family, so we will look after her. At that time, another messenger from Drupada comes, and that messenger says that king has arranged the wedding ceremony. Okay, so king has organized the wedding ceremony, so please join everybody. And then at that time, when the messenger informs this, that's where we stopped last time. So the messenger, when he informs them about a good meal prepared, wedding meal prepared, and the ceremony, everything arranged by Drupada, the messenger and the priest who was there, they left Drupada's palace. And Yudhistira, after discussing with his brothers and mother, they prepared themselves. And then they ascended, they took the chariots which Drupada has sent and then headed to Drupada's palace. Well, they were going there. Drupada was not sure what to do, how to prepare for the wedding, because he wasn't sure whether these people are actually Brahmanas, whether they are Kshatriyas, or whether they are Vaishyas, or whether they are some deities who came in the form of Brahmana, or what they are. He wasn't sure. So he was trying to prepare for his daughter's wedding, but he wasn't sure which custom to follow, because Brahmana's custom is different to probably Kshatriya's custom. So, and the items you need to prepare for the wedding are different. He wasn't sure what to do. So what he did was he ordered everything to be prepared. So if you are Brahmana, yeah, let's do like this. If you are Kshatriya, if they are Kshatriya, let's follow the Kshatriya custom. So let's prepare for that as well. So he prepared everything. He kept everything ready, the place cleaned, all the fruits, garlands, everything was prepared, and he kept everything ready there. Okay. both Brahmanas, the items, Brahmana wedding request and the Kshatriya wedding request. So when it prepares everything, and then once everything is ready, he also kept a lot of weapons, arrows, swords, everything else like Kshatriyas would display in their wedding, all the armor, everything they have. And once he prepares that, Draupadi there, Kunti with her sons and daughter-in-law arrived there. Kunti and Krishna, they went to inner apartments. That means where the ladies stay, they go into those apartments. And Pandavas enter the place where king and Drupada and everybody was seated. So they were welcomed by King Drupada and Drishtadyumna. And once they enter, they had a very good meal, and Pandavas enjoyed that meal. And once that's done, they started looking at all the things that prepared there. Drupadas prepared for them to look at. There were things like Brahmanas would look, okay, which these Pandavas did not focus much. They looked at, okay, yeah, okay. So I like this Kalasha, I like this puja, okay, move on. Okay, then they went to see the items prepared, which shows the Kshatriya items like the weapons, arrows, swords, everything. And they started picking each one and then examining how they are, how sharp they are, what they do, what weight it is and everything. They started discussing about that. That gave Drupada more confidence that, yeah, my daughter married actually a Kshatriya. So he was very happy, but he still was not sure who these people were. So the next day, Drupada asks Yudhistira, says that, are you Kshatriya or are you a Brahmana or are you some deity dressed as a Brahmana? Tell me only the truth. I don't want to hear anything else from you. Please tell me the truth, because I am very eager to hear from you. And at that time, Yudhishthira explains that, it tells him that you don't need to worry about Draupadi. Okay, Draupadi has gone from a very good family to another great family. She went from moving a lotus from one great lake to another lake. She hasn't been harmed. And after that, he explains that they are actually indeed the sons of Pandu, and they escaped from the Varnava fire, and he explains everything that happened since then. And hearing all that, Drupada becomes very angry with Dhritarastra and Duryodhana. He says, how can somebody in Dhritarastra's position, who is a king and also who is a father figure, can do things like this to his children, okay, like Pandavas. So he says that if he ever decide to attack on Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana or anything, I will always support you. My army will always support you and they will always be behind you. And he assures that, and then they continue discussion. And then Dhritarashtra says, I know your brother took one Draupadi in the Swayamvara, but they're not married as per the ritual. So even though garland was exchanged, in marriage, garland exchange is important. So that's actually the sign of marriage. So they are actually married, but ritualistically, there are other steps, process that needs to happen. That hasn't happened. So if you permit, then Arjuna can marry my daughter as per the rights, okay, as it should happen. Then Yudhishthira says, no, I am going to marry her. And then Drupada says, okay, if that's the case, that's okay. If Arjuna is not marrying, but you are marrying her, that's okay. You are the eldest son, you can decide what needs to happen. Then Yudhishthira says, no, sorry, king. It's not just me marrying. Along with me, my 4 brothers also will marry her. And that confuses Drupada. For a second, he thinks, what is Yudhishthira saying? Okay, he thinks how that can happen. Okay, and then Drupada says that should not happen, because as per the custom, a man can have more than one wife, but women cannot have more than one husband. So that's the morality. That's what Shastra say. That should not happen. How can you say that 5 of you are going to marry my daughter? That should not happen. And Yudhishthira says that morality is very subtle. Okay, so that means, so this is very important. This line is very important, what Yudhistira says here. Okay, morality is very subtle. That means in Hinduism, I haven't studied most of the other religions, but most of the religions say that you have to do this. Okay, there is a strict code of conduct. You have to do this. You either, it's black and white. In Hinduism, in our Sanatana Dharma or Shastras, it is very subtle. Okay, we say that don't tell truth, for us, or don't tell lies. Okay, but we also say that tell lies at some points. Okay, we tell that don't hurt anybody, don't hurt any animals, but there are animal sacrifices or things that happen. Okay, with everything depends on the situation, the person, everything, it depends on that. So what I might see as the right thing, okay, may not be the right thing for many others. Okay, similarly, what I might see today as a right thing to tell a lie to all of you might not be the right thing tomorrow. Okay, the same situation. So it has to be depend on the situation, person, and where it is. And again, I think I said previously as well, when Pandavas assumed the Brahmana's form, I said normally one should not assume dress like a Brahmana and mimic like a Brahmana or act like a Brahmana if they're not Brahmana. That's again, at that time I said, in a case of emergency or a crisis situation, people can disobey, disregard what the Shastras say. Okay. Similarly, so it is again come to the situation and the who you are and the knowledge you have. Again, that doesn't mean that you can ignore everything and say, my Shastra allows me to make my own decision. Yes, it does, because ultimately, if you do all the bad things, you can do. Okay, that's the right that gives us in our religion. Okay, so it's our Shastras tell us to do whatever we do, we take the merits of or demerits of that act. Okay, but we have to think what acts we do. So this is again Yudhishthira sentence here, morality is subtle, means the way you look at it may be different to the way I see it. Okay, it's the same topic, whether Draupadi can marry 5 people or not, but the way you look at it, as a woman marrying 5 men, I look at it differently. Okay, because the path everybody follows maybe sometimes is different to what the path one should follow at different times. As I said, truth, always you have to tell truth, but there may be situation if somebody is going to hurt you, you probably will tell that, no, I don't have any jewelry, leave me alone. Okay, don't kill me. Okay, so you might have to tell truth even though you're carrying a bag full of gold. So you might tell them that not true. Okay, so what he says here is, my mother told me, okay, what he says is, my tongue never uttered any untruth. That means whatever that comes to my mind, always as per the Shastras, that is right. And my heart also never thinks about doing anything sinful. And my mother also says the same thing. Okay, she also says the same thing. And whatever I'm saying, my heart approves it. So that means if my heart approves it, that means it is the right thing. So again, it is important here. When I say morality is subtle, we are saying your heart has to approve. What Yudhishthira is saying is your heart has to approve. You have to think about this and you have to think whether that's the right or wrong. You can't just simply say, I'm going to keep lying because my Shastra says that I can't tell lies in some situations if I'm really need to tell lies. But you should not use that as an excuse and tell lies all along. Okay, because your heart had to approve. If you question your heart again, is it right to tell the lies? It might say that no, it's not. If there is a confusion, then you are doing it wrong. So that's why you have to follow what Shastra say, but there are situations where you could do it differently and interpret it differently. Okay, so Yudhishthira says, you don't have to worry about this, sins or benefits of this, anything, you don't have to worry about this because my heart approves this. Okay, but Drupada was not convinced. Okay. He says, you discussed this with Kunti, your brothers, and Drishtadyumna, and then you come to a conclusion. I will speak to you tomorrow. Okay. You all discuss today, sit together and please discuss. I will come to you tomorrow. It's like elders telling, you all talk about it. Tell me what to do. Okay. I will then think about it. Okay. So he does that because he did not want to come to a conclusion. He also wanted time to think about it. So then Yudhishthira, Drishtadyumna, they started talking about this. At that time, the island-born sage came there. Who is the island-born sage in Mahabharata? Yes.
Vyasa?
Yes. Vyasa, Krishna Dvaipayana. Krishna Dvaipayana. That means he is in island-born. Okay. So that Vyasa comes there. When Vyasa comes, what do? Normally, everyone, when Brahmana comes, they worship him, they wash his feet. Okay, they give him Argya, Padya, Achumanya, that means washing his feet, hands, face, everything they give him food, and then they give him a seat, and then they ask him all the welfare, and then they all, Drishtadyumna slowly starts, when starting talking, he says, we are in a bit of confusion, chaos here. Please help us. Arjuna won my sister Draupadi in the Swayamvara, but now all 5 of them are coming here saying they are going to marry, all of them. Please tell us what is right, what is wrong, because whatever you say is going to be the right thing. Please tell us. Vyasa says, before I give my opinion, I want to hear what all of you think. Okay. Vyasa does not immediately say this is right or wrong. So at that time, Drupada, who was there worshipping Vyasa, he says that as far as I know, a woman cannot have more than one husband. Men can have multiple wives, many, but women cannot have it. So that's against the Vedas and it is sinful. That's why it is sinful. It should not happen. Drishtadyumna gives another reason. He says that elder brother should never go to the wife of younger brother. Okay. So this is again in the Shastras, if younger brother and his wife are together or anything like that, elder brother should never go near them. Okay. And you will hear again about in Mahabharata in another 5-6 chapters later, the same story. Okay. So elder brother should never go. Here, if let's say Bhima is married Draupadi, and then next day Yudhishthira can't go to her saying that she's also my wife because she's Bhima's wife, younger brother's wife. So you can't say that my brother's wife is my wife. Okay, younger brother's wife. So that cannot happen. So he says that's forbidden. At that time, Yudhishthira again repeats what he told Drupada. He says that my tongue never tells untruth, and my heart also does not think that this is sin. Okay, and when my heart approves it, it will never be sin, because that's what my heart says. And then he says that there is in the Purana, there is a lady named Jatila who actually from the Gautama Gotra, she married 7 rishis. So this again, Yudhishthira giving examples. So this is again important. So when you grow old and when you're building any arguments or cases or anything, you will be asked to give examples, okay, references. If you don't have references, whatever you say probably is not going to be strong enough. The case is not strong enough. So Yudhishthira making his case is strong here by saying there was a story in the Purana about lady named Jatila. She was from Gautama Gotra, that means she is very knowledgeable Brahmana family, Rishi's family, and she married 7 rishis. One lady married 7 rishis. And also he talks about another daughter born of another rishi, and she married 10 brothers. All of them are called Prachetasas. Again, you will hear about Prachetasas in Srimad Bhagavata. Okay, so those Prachetasas she married. So all of them were knowledgeable and they had this marriage. And he says that what is important is we obey whatever the elders say. That's most superior, especially when mother says something, you have to follow it. Okay, so that is the most important merititious act one can do. Here, the question is not about whether sin is going to attach to me if I marry same girl as my brothers marry, or whether Draupadi is going to get sin because she married 5 people. It is not that. It is whether we are following what our mother said. And our mother said that we all should have whatever we have. Okay, that is Draupadi, when we bought her, she told us to have equally. So that's the mother's order, and that's the most religious thing for us. So when Yudhistira explains that, Kunti also agrees with Yudhistira, and she says that I just hope whatever I said will not become untrue. Okay, because if it becomes untrue, something I said to my children, if it becomes untrue, they will have the sin of disobeying their mother. So that's why I hope something is done so that my words are always become true, stay as true. Then Vyasa says that the important thing is to save somebody from untruth. Okay, if something is going to become false, it is important to stop that. That's the most eternal truth. So the important truth is not saying untruth. Okay, so that's what Vyasa says. And then he says he will not explain what should happen in front of everyone, the reasons why Draupadi may marry 5 people. He will not explain in front of everybody, but he says to Drupada that I need to speak to you. Let's have a private discussion. Okay, and then Drupada and Vyasa go to a private chamber, and there Vyasa started explaining an event that took place in between in heaven. Okay, so he narrates about a story where Lord Yama was very busy doing a sacrifice for many years, and because Yama was busy, nobody died on earth. Okay, so Yama's job is to take everyone's life when it ends. Because he was busy doing sacrifice, nobody died, and everybody got worried about this. So Indra went to Brahma and he sought Brahma's help, and Brahma assured him that soon Yama's sacrifice will finish and he will return to his normal place. You go to his sacrifice. And Indra and everybody were on way to Yama's sacrifice, and while they are going, they come across a river. There he sees golden lotuses floating one after another, and from the upstream the lotuses are flowing down, and Indra follows the river, sees where these lotuses are coming. When he goes, he sees a lady washing herself, taking bath, and she was crying. Every drop that tears fall, it's turning into a lotus and floating in the river. Okay, and Indra asks, why are you crying? What is the reason? She says, I am very unfortunate, but I will explain you this and I will show you what's happening. Okay, she takes him, Indra, to a mountain, snow-covered mountain. There she shows him a young man, playing dice with another woman. Okay, and Indra goes there and says, I am Indra. Who are you? Tell me why this lady is crying. Explain me what you have done to her. And that man just ignores her, ignores whatever Indra says, and then continues playing dice. And then Indra once again says, I am Indra. Okay, I'm going to kill you if you don't answer me. And then that man still continues. And then Indra takes his weapon Vajra, okay, and he was about to release it. At that time, that man looks like this, stares at him, and suddenly Indra becomes paralyzed. Okay, Indra becomes paralyzed, and he was sent to a cave on earth. Okay, where when he enters, he sees 5 other Indras in the similar situation. Okay, all of their names were Vishabhuk, Bhutadharman, Sibi, Shanta, and Tejaswin. He sees 5 other Indras, and they all tell him the similar stories, and they seek Mahadeva, Shiva's blessings there. Okay, because that man and woman who were playing dice were Shiva and Parvati. Okay, and So they seek Mahadeva's help, and Mahadeva says, if you take birth on earth, your sins will be disappear. And they all, with that agreement, they all agree that we can't take ourselves fully on birth, but we will give a portion of ours, so that a portion of us, our energy will take birth on earth. And they agree to that, and they go to Narayana. When they go to Vishnu, Vishnu takes 2 hairs from his of his hair, and then from that he throws on the earth, and from that Balarama and Krishna were born. Okay, again, there are different stories between on Balarama and Krishna's birth. Here in this instance, Vyasa narrated story, it says that Narayana's 2 hairs were born. Again, it's effectively saying they are forms of Narayana. Okay, they are from Narayana himself. So, and then Narada here, Vyasa explains that those 5 Indras are actually the 5 Pandavas, and Arjuna himself being the portion of Shakra, that is the current Indra. So, and the lady who was crying is actually Shri, and Shri is actually goddess of wealth. Okay, and she was born as Draupadi. And at that point, Vyasa gives a celestial eye to Drupada, says, with these eyes, you can see everything. Okay, just like before, you probably heard before Bhagavad Gita, when Vishwarupa, Krishna shows Vishwarupa to Arjuna, he gives him a special eyes, right? Drishti. So similarly here, eyesight was given to Drupada, and when through that, when he sees Pandavas, he says Indra sitting there, and with all the ornaments and everything else, they were sitting there and talking to each other. And then he looks at his daughter, she is Shri herself. Then Drupada thinks about, okay, he realizes who these people are. And then once that he learns everything about that from Vyasa, Drupada says, okay, my daughter can marry these 5 Pandavas. He says, whatever that has been decided by destiny, I cannot change it. Okay, nothing happens in this world just purely because I do it. It's all depends on the destiny. Whatever that's supposed to happen will always happen. I just do my act. And if Lord Brahma, Mahadeva himself has decided that this is going to happen, then this will happen. Again, Drupada tells about the story. I think Vyasa told Pandavas when they were in Ekachakra Nagar, if you remember. There was a Rishi's daughter who was doing a penance, and when Shiva came, she said, I need a husband, give me a husband, give me a husband, give me a husband, give me a husband. 5 times she said. And Shiva said, you will have 5 husbands, right? So Drupada says the same thing. If Mahadeva himself, Shankara, Shiva himself has told that she is going to have 5 husbands, who am I to stop? How can any sin attach to me or Draupadi or Pandavas if Shiva himself has told that she is going to have 5 husbands? So he says that there is no sin will attach to this, because of this is what destiny has. This is the destiny. So let's be happy and continue with the wedding ceremony of my daughter Krishna. So Vyasa says, this is the right time. The Pushya Nakshatra is here. So let's start the wedding. Okay. First, Yudhistira marries Draupadi, and then the next day, Bhima, then Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, like that. 5 of them marry one after another. And what here again, Vaishampana says that after each marriage, Draupadi retained her maidenhood. Okay, she became a girl again. So then after the marriage, again as a gift, Drupada gave large amount of wealth and everything to Pandavas, the elephants, horses, chariots, maids, everything he gave to Pandavas, and Pandavas spent their time happily in Panchala itself. Any questions up to now? So that's Vivaha Parva, that is wedding chapter. So Pandavas, all of them married Draupadi. So after their marriage, so now stories, Pandavas living happily in Panchala. Dhritarashtra hears about Pandava. Okay, so how he hears? So Pandavas were living in Panchala. Krishna sends lot of gift, wedding gift to Pandavas, to Panchala. Okay, he says that, okay, congratulations on your wedding. Here are the horses, elephants, jewelry, everything from Yadavas, Vrishnis, and so from us, have this. Okay, Krishna sends all the wealth. And then soon everybody, message starts going out and everybody starts hearing that Pandavas are alive. Everybody thought Pandavas were dead. And suddenly they started hearing that Pandavas are living happily in Panchala. In fact, the person who actually won the Swayamvara is actually Arjuna. And all of them are married. So they realize that. And this message also reaches Duryodhana and his brothers, Karna, Shakuni, everybody who were returning to Hastinapura. They were still not reached Hastinapura. At that time itself, the message reaches them that the Pandavas are alive. Duryodhana becomes very, very distressed, depressed, because he, first of all, Pandavas are alive. He thought they were dead. And the second thing is, they now became allies with Drupada. Drupada has a very strong army, and Drupada is going to support them. So Duryodhana was very sad. And here Vidura, hearing that Pandavas won the Swayamvara, he goes to Dhritarashtra and says, King, we have a very happy news. Kuru prince has won the Swayamvara, congratulations. And Dhritarashtra, without realizing who actually it is, he thinks that his own son Duryodhana has won it. He orders a lot of ornaments and jewelry and everything to be made for Draupadi. And he says, let all the celebration begin. And then Vidura slowly tells, King, actually, this is won by Arjuna and all the Pandavas married. And Dhritarashtra becomes shocked. But he also then slowly composes himself, and then he learns about Pandavas' escape. And then he says that he is very happy to learn that Pandavas, especially Kunti, is alive. And then he tells Vidura, Vidura at that time says that, hope you stay like this, always be happy about Pandavas. Hope this, whatever you said is true. And then Vidura leaves that place. After he goes, Duryodhana comes there and says, I can't believe you are very happy that Pandavas are alive. I can't believe this. Why are you saying like that? We were supposed to be very sad because of it. Why are you saying like that? Okay. And what Duryodhana does next, we will look at that next week. Any questions? Okay, in that case, last week I was looking at this, I think, if I remember correctly, explaining how much time is we have. Okay, so we are looking at 1 hour day, 15 days as a paksha, 1 month is about masa, and then season, 2 months is a season, and then about 1 year. Okay, our 1 year is devatas, 1 night and day and night. Okay, and then our 360 years is their devatas 1 year. Okay, so then we looked at 4 different yugas, Kali Yuga. So again, Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga, which is about 4,800 devata years. 3,600 years is Treta Yuga. 2,400 years is Dwapara Yuga, and then 1,200 years is Kali Yuga. Okay, so that's Devata years, and human years is this many. Okay, 4,320,000 years total is 1 Yuga cycle. So that is all the 4 Yugas together becomes 4,320,000 years. Okay, human years, our years on Earth. So this 4 Yugas together is called Mahayuga or Chaturyuga. Okay, Chatur is 4. 4 yugas together, it's called Mahayuga. And when such one Mahayuga exists, okay, 100 Mahayugas, okay, that 100 Mahayugas is called one Kalpa. Okay, one Kalpa is Brahma's one day. So remember, we are talking about our one day, okay, our one day, then our 1 year becoming Deva's 1 year. Indra and everybody, they will have 1 year for our one day for our 1 year. Okay, and Indra's 12,000 years, okay, becomes Brahma's 1 day. Okay, and Brahma similarly, that's called Kalpa. Similarly, that's day, and similar amount is called Pralaya. That means Brahma actually goes to sleep. Everything ends, and then there is nothing. Brahma also goes to sleep. And like that, Brahma lives. So that is Brahma's 1 day. Okay, so total about 2000 Mahayugas is Brahma's 1 day. Like that, 360 days Brahma spends becomes 1 year for Brahma's 1 year. And that Brahma's 1 year, that Brahma like that lives for 100 years. Okay, after that, a new Brahma is created by Paramatma. So a Brahma's life is 100 years, but his 100 years is about a big number. I think 864 billion Devata years, and our human years is about 311 trillion, something like that. Okay, our human years. So this is, again, if you think about this, we even today, we have time difference. For example, in Earth, 1 day is, I don't know which way it is, but in Mars, it is 1.4 days or something like that, right? So the number of days, even today, science is saying. So this is something similar here. Our Shastras are already calculated that in different regions, the time is different. Our 1 day is probably, our 1 year probably is a 1 day in somewhere else, okay, in some other planet or universe. Okay, so that's what our Shastras is saying. So Devatas live somewhere else, their time is different. In Mahabharata, you will again learn later when Arjuna goes to heaven to see Indra and spends time there. Arjuna spends 5 days. But when he comes back to Earth, actually 5 years have finished. Okay, so our 1 year, okay, our 1 years is their deities 1 day. Okay, so Arjuna spends 5 days there, 5 years would have finished here. Okay, so like that, this is the time differences, and I'll just cover a little bit more probably next week. Pranil, what's your question? Pranil? Can't hear you. Okay, we probably, okay, just one more thing. So this 1 day of Brahma again is split into 14 different manvantaras. Okay, manvantara is Manu. Okay, there is a Manu in each manvantara, 14 different manvantaras, and each manvantara is about 71 Mahayugas. Okay, so in each manvantara, you will have a new Indra, new setup. Okay, Indra, Yama, everybody will change. Okay, each manvantara. So that's, again, we will look at the other things. We'll look at the rest of the things probably next week.
So Pranil has a question.
Yeah. We might get disconnected, but try. If not, we'll cover next week.
Is the 100 years of Brahma 7 billion 2 million years?